It started a couple of years ago when a friend of mine, Michel van Rijn, received an email. An old family consisting of Nazis was trying to sell some statues, and they asked a couple of millions for it. And attached to this email was a picture, a color picture, and on it the two famous Torak horses, and those horses were Hitler's favorite sculptures. So I recognized these statues and I thought, oh my God, because we all thought that these statues had been destroyed during the raid of Berlin in 1945. It turned out that Hitler had moved them to a place in northern Germany, and the Russians confiscated them when they conquered Germany, and they placed them secretly on a Russian military base. And when the Berlin Wall collapsed, they managed to sell it to some people with apparently Nazi sympathy. So we found out that the horses were indeed the real ones, so then we started to track them down. I posed as a representative of an American buyer, and I modeled him to J.R. Ewing from the soap opera Dallas from the 70s and 80s. We first had to go through the underbelly of this collector's world. We met old Nazis, the Stasi. I even encountered the daughter of Heinrich Himmler. And all these people were involved. And I teamed up with the German police, and finally, after a couple of years, we managed to do some raids in Germany, and finally we found them. 2 years ago, I recovered a Picasso, one of Picasso's own favorite paintings. He kept this painting until he died. It was stolen in France in 1999 from a yard of a sheikh, and it ended up in the underworld of the Netherlands, and I managed to track it down. Last year, I recovered the ring of Oscar Wilde, the famous Irish-English writer. It was stolen from Oxford like 20 years ago. And I recovered it in England. And there is this book of Haves, a very important Iranian poet, one of the oldest books of him from the 15th century. And it was stolen in Germany, and I recovered that one too in England. So I'm working on many cases. Some I succeed and some are still waiting to be solved. Well, you must understand that the criminal art world is a very dangerous world. There are big gangsters involved, mafia is involved, even terrorist group like IS. So sometimes you get in dangerous situations. But I always say, if you know what you do, there is a chance you might survive. And until now, fingers crossed, I survived. No, absolutely not. Indiana Jones is a cool guy. I don't even have a driver's license. I'm not walking around with guns. But maybe some of these adventures which I experienced, well, they have something like Indiana Jones. But that doesn't mean that I'm Indiana Jones, you know. I'm just a normal, simple guy from the Netherlands. Every time. When I recovered this Picasso, it was worth 70 millions. I, of course, had to give it back to the rightful owners, but I placed it one night on my wall. And, well, it's difficult, you know. I have to give them back, it's my job. But when I have to say goodbye, it's not easy, that's for sure.